Yeah, so we started with that, started using essential oils. My wife is now 100% off of all medications, which was Lyrica, which is a nerve blocker, Percocets, pain medications, antidepressants, all that sort of stuff. And that there really has to do with, one is her diet change. Essential oils have played a huge part into that. And it's just more small family changes that I think people need to do. We need to put more preventative medicine in people's hands, in people's houses today, especially what's going on today with COVID, right? People are fearful, and they're putting this fear out there. And to me, there's nothing really to be fearful for if you take care of your health, right? So if you take care of your health, you reduce inflammation in your body, your immune system is working and functioning the way that it should be, you're going to be okay. You're going to be all good.
Thanks for stopping by the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast. I'm the host of the show, Sean Dustin. If this is your first time listening, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. It's good to have you with us today. There are a couple of ways that you can help support the show. One of which is, if you know somebody out there who would benefit from listening to the show or an episode in this show, send them over. I'd be happy to have them as listeners. Also, you can subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast platform. And if I'm currently not available on the platform you listen to, send me an email and I will try to get added to it. I have merchandise available now, hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, and other items. This is another way you can help support the show, and the show will get a portion of the proceeds. You can find direct links to iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, merchandise, and anywhere else we are online at the bottom of the show notes. Go to the Linktree link, and that will take you to all the ways to connect to the show.
If you think you have a story for the show or an experience or something that you've been through that other people would benefit from hearing, go ahead and go to the Linktree link at the bottom of the show notes, hit the email tab, and drop me a line. Tell me your story. And if I feel like it lines up with the values of this show and podcast, I'll send you a scheduling link and we can go from there.
In this episode, I'm talking to Scott Manduck from up near Canada, or actually up in Canada. I don't know where exactly. And he is talking about his wife's health and how his wife's health was suffering. And they, were using Western medicine and they couldn't figure out how to get her better. So they switched to essential oils, vibration technology, jewelry, and also just all natural cleaning solutions, just pretty much getting everything out of everything toxic out of the house and the diet, and it seemed to have worked. And Scott is here to tell us about it, and it worked so well that he actually started selling essential oils and the vibration technology jewelry as well. So we'll hear a little bit about that. And I'm definitely a skeptic when it comes to stuff like this. Seriously. And he actually almost got me, I'm right on the edge there, because there's a lot of things that I've been listening to that kind of play into or I don't know. I'm just almost sold. Let's just say that. Also, one other thing I want to just touch on real quick before we go ahead and get to the episode is that we've got a lot of things going on right now. There's traction, with the Black Lives Matter movement. You've got the stuff in Seattle that's going on, which I don't see as a bad thing. I don't. There's been a lot of things that have been happening in our society, government, everything else that really doesn't serve anybody but the people at the top. So I'm definitely a firm believer and a supporter of what's happening. It's definitely time for a change. And another thing, sorry, there's one more thing. mental health. It's kind of brought to my attention, that I have kind of been checking out, I guess you would sort of say. I haven't really been listening to a whole lot of mainstream stuff, what's going on. I just happened to be in a group discussion yesterday, that talked about the stuff that's going on in Seattle and, talking about direct democracy and different solutions to how we can kind of implement change in this country. And, my own mental health is kind of, I guess it's suffering a little bit, cause I'm isolated, choosing to sleep more than get things done that I need to have done. And so, yeah, I just need to, kind of make everybody aware that, downtimes are, just because you're, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Just because you're a little bit depressed, I mean, I think that's normal. It's just a matter of being aware and catching yourself when you start to slip. And that's exactly what I've done. I'm just kind of like catching myself. Okay, all right, what do we need to do? How do we go about, getting out of this hole that you're starting to fall into? And so just be aware. There are different, things that you can do. I have my own personal, way that I get out of it. And so without further ado, let's get to the show. This is the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast, and I'm your host, Sean Dustin. Today we are talking to Scott Manduck, and he has a Facebook group and is have something to do with holistic healing, medicine, and oils that the oils you actually make yourself, right?
They actually don't make them themselves. We're part of a fairly large company that basically educates people on essential oils, self-directed healthcare, and stuff like that. We try to teach them how to use these oils, if you will, which are basically just essential oils that do many, many things to help our bodies. So it's just one avenue of what we try to do to help self-directed healthcare and to prevent a lot of ailments, and stuff like that before they actually happen.
And what got you into that? From what I read, was your wife had an issue in Western medicine didn't help, and so that was kind of what drove you to holistic. Yeah,
so it's kind of an interesting story. Is my whole background is printing and marketing. That's what I've done my entire life. In the past 8 or 9 years, we've had some health challenges in our family, and we were going through the Western medicine channels as most people would typically do. And we're finding that we're always trying to figure something out. And it was always try this med, try this med, try this med. And it was symptom after symptom after symptom. We couldn't really get to the root of the problem. And none of the doctors in Western medicine actually talk to each other. So you could go see a neurologist, and then you go see your family doctor, and then you go see some other doctor, you go get an MRI, you go get an ultrasound, and it's like none of them try to put the pieces together, which is horrible. And to be a person in chronic pain and you don't know what it is, it plays a mental game with you, and it's tiresome. It's just not good overall, because you're dealing with all these things that you don't know what to do and how to fix it and stuff like that. So we decided to start looking online and stuff like that. And a good friend of ours, Tamara, introduced us to some essential oils and said, "Why don't you guys try these?" And typically what happens is they sit in a box for a little while. It's like, we'll get to it, whatever, which oils, whatever it may be. And it's like, let me give it a whirl. Like, what the heck, man? And so I had a headache, and it was just bad tension in the back of my neck. I was like, you know what? Downstairs, I don't want to run upstairs. Let's open the box. Let's give it a whirl. What the heck? So I threw on some peppermint and put some peppermint on put it on the inside of my mouth. And was like, okay, whatever. Get back to working. I'm like, half hour later, I'm like, what the word? My headache's gone. No way. So I call up Tamara. I'm like, what's going on? Like, is this stuff for real? Like, is this like placebo? What's going on? And lo and behold, we started getting more information. I started digging more into it, and we wanted more information on the different types of oils for different ailments. And now we have a whole slew of oils. We have a diffuser going right here that I have going in every room that we have. It's just an amazing aroma that helps lift moods. It does many, many things. So anyways, make a long story short, we started using the oils and their supplements and stuff like that on a daily regimen. And a few years go by, and to be honest, we haven't been sick in our house. Like everybody with the typical flu that goes through all the different seasons and stuff like that, our immune systems are at all-time high. And we're throwing that to essential oils. My wife has done a lot of things, not just essential oils. She's actually changed her diet for a lot of things. One is inflammation, which is kind of cool. So a lot of inflammation has to do with, basically, we call it your gut health. Because if you have inflammation within your body, usually you want to start with your gut and then it works its way out, right? So with that, we started changing up our diet with an amazing book. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it's called The Autoimmune Solutions by Dr. Amy Myers. That there was a great book. And that kind of set our bodies back to base, if you will, reduce inflammation. And with that, you actually lose some weight. So it's actually kind of a good thing. And it's a sustainable diet, which a lot of people do all these crazy keto diets, this, that, whatever, but it's not a sustainable diet. You can't eat that every day for the rest of your life. It's really hard to do, right? So it's just, to me, it's kind of a false thing. You're lying to yourself. And to me, it's just not worth putting your body through that, knowing that you're gonna flip back right away. So yeah, so we started with that, started using essential oils. My wife is now 100% off of all medications, which was Lyrica, which is a nerve blocker, Percocets, pain medications, antidepressants, all that sort of stuff. And that there really has to do with, one is her diet change. Essential oils have played a huge part into that. And it's just more small family changes that I think people need to do. We need to put more preventative medicine in people's hands, in people's houses today, especially what's going on today with COVID, right? People are fearful, and they're putting this fear out there. And to me, there's nothing really to be fearful for if you take care of your health, right? So if you take care of your health, you reduce inflammation in your body, your immune system is working and functioning the way that it should be, you're going to be okay. You're going to be all good, right? So what do you do? Do you guys use it? What do you guys do to stay healthy in your house?
Well, it's just me, and sometimes my daughter, but not enough. I did the keto diet, and you're right. It is not sustainable. At least it wasn't for me. I lost 35 pounds. It worked. I have tried to get back onto keto, since that time, and it's hard. I can't seem to get fat adapted again. So it's harder to get back in it the second time around for me. Yeah. I mean, I try to eat, vegetables and meat. I just, I hate to say it, but I like food, man. And I like sugar. Yeah. And so I struggle with my weight, and usually I'm not obese by the BMI, I'm obese, but if you were just to look at me, I mean, I wear my weight well. It's pretty proportioned, but at the same time, I know when I'm getting bigger, my clothes are a little bit tighter, you know what I mean, in spaces. So that's what I use to kind of judge, because I don't jump on a scale. The scale doesn't tell you anything. You
know what? And I'm so glad you said that, because the scale's not going to tell you anything really, because you could be, I'm not a big person, but even people that are thinner than I am can be really unhealthy. It doesn't, like, weight does play a portion into what's going on in your body. It taxes your body. Yes, it does. But you could be a skinny person and be really, really unhealthy. So the fuel that you're putting into your body is super important. It's like you wouldn't put regular gas into a Lamborghini. You know what I mean? It's just what you put into it is what you're going to be putting out of it, right? So you're addicted to sugar because your body's always craving it. So once there's ways to actually kick that, and there's ways to do that. It's almost like a sugar detox. It'll maybe take you about 9-10 days, maybe call it 2 weeks tops, and you'll be fine. Like, I used to love sugar. I used to drink probably 6, 7, 8 cans of pop a day. And that would be on a good day. I'd wake in the morning, have a bowl of cereal, a big bowl of milk, and I'd have a chocolate chip muffin and pop out my Coca-Cola or Pepsi. That was my breakfast for many, 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 many years. And it's like, I was killing myself and I didn't even realize it. Like, I was gaining weight as I was getting older. And when I turned 40, I was like, man, my head was swollen like this, had a big stomach on me. It's like, not that I'm a big person, but it's just, I didn't feel healthy. And I'm an athletic person. So I play basketball, I play hockey, I play basketball, I play baseball, I play volleyball. It was like, I'm not recovering the way that I used to, man. This is not good. You know what I mean? So you can do it. And the I don't want to say it's a diet, because it's not a diet. It's a little bit of a small lifestyle change, because you can still eat meat. You're still eating vegetables. There's just certain things that they want you to remove from your diet. And one of them is sugar, right?
Yeah.
And that there is kind of the big one. And you slowly reduce that. If you can go cold turkey and cut it off, within 10 days, you won't be craving sugar anymore. Within the first 4 or 5 days, you can be like, oh man, give me a chocolate bar, give me something. But you'll be able to come off that. And with essential oils, by putting essential oils, like this is my work, right? But I put essential oils in them. And that there actually helps crave the sugars, because I have essential oils in them. They're natural. They're made from Mother Nature. They're distilled properly. And there's no fillers or synthetics or any of that crap in them. So I know what I'm putting into my body is actually good. And to be honest, it tastes sweet. It tastes like I'm getting my sugar fix, but I know it's super good for my digestive system. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So these are ways that, like, if you had a container like this on your desk and you're drinking 2 of these a day, I would bet money that you wouldn't be craving the sugar as much.
I would have to check it out. I mean, you've got my interest.
Right.
Because one of the main things when you decide you want to turn your life around, whether, and change things, in whatever pocket or box, you're having issues in your life, because it's not just one area. I mean, you've got diet, you've got, mental, you've got physical, there's all these things. But what I've found is that they all kind of, if you have a problem in one, it's usually going to cause a problem in one of the others too. You know what I mean? They're all kind of interconnected. So if you're having some mental issues, it could show up in physical ailments that it's manifesting itself in. Or if you're having some physical stuff, or you're eating some things, being hydrated. Hydration is a huge one. And when you're dehydrated, and we don't even notice, because it's like, all right, well, I'm not thirsty, but your thinking could be differently. It plays a part in that. When you're dehydrated, your brain doesn't work properly.
That's right.
Yep. So a lot of things.
What do they say? You got to drink half your body weight in ounces.
Yeah. And I don't do that. So
right.
I'm full of excuses. I make a lot of them, and I've always said that I'm my biggest enemy. I get in my own way more times than not.
Yep, for sure.
And
you know what? And a lot of people say that. And I was just speaking with somebody yesterday, and it was funny because the conversation kind of led down a funny rabbit hole. And how much money do we in humanity spend on anything but ourselves? Name the list. How much do we spend on fixing our car that may not need to be fixed? Put in extra stereo, put in this, put in that, put in some cool lights. Even just get a brake change, oil change, all that sort of stuff. We'll do all the repairs on our car. We'll do the same thing to our house. We'll put nice fancy pictures up. We'll put pot lights in. We'll fix the drywall, fix a leaky pipe, whatever. How much do we spend on ourselves?
No, not much.
Seriously, not much. But we always find money in budget to spend on all these materialistic things around us that make us feel better. Shit, man, if we're not here, who cares about all this other crap? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you got a good point.
And we need to put this back to reality. Is like, we need to go, listen, I'm spending X amount of dollars on our groceries every month. We know we're going to spend, call it $100, $200, whatever that number is. We need to add money to that for self-care. We need to add supplementation back into our diets because the nutrition in our foods is just not there, right? We know this, but we just don't do anything about it. We need to take supplementation. We need enzymes back in our body, right? So we can do this, and it's not going to cost you a fortune. It's actually less than what you think it's going to be, but it's just a different mindset. It's like, oh, I got to spend $100 on supplementation and these essential oils. What is that really going to do for me? Well, it's going to keep you out of the hospital and stop you from spending $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 on ailments that you're going to be dealing with. And typically, you would have to spend that because now you're in a position of hurt and depression and chronic pain and all these sort of fun things that people deal with on a regular basis, right? ADD, ADHD, all these things. They know it's all from sugars and the chemicals that are in our foods. So let's stop those. You know what I mean? Because we're killing ourselves. So if we can avoid those things and put some simple supplementation and essential oils into our routines, you'll be fine. Chemicals. Like, what do you use to clean your house?
Windex. Oh no. Windex and like this other product, for grease on the counters and all. But I mean, I'm sure there's natural things out there that do the exact same thing.
The reason I'm putting you on the spot is because the listeners, I want them to do this. Go out after the call whenever you have time today, tomorrow, whatever it may be, and put all the cleaners that you use to clean your house on a regular basis, put them on a counter. Read the back of the label. Just read it. Every single one of them have huge, huge chemicals in them that are cancer-causing issues. You're killing yourself from the inside of your own house the way you even look at it. I was one of those guys for 3/4 of my life. And I was like, what the heck, man? But then my wife started getting sick. I wasn't feeling the best. My son had skin issues, skin sensitivities. And it's like, what the heck's going on? Like, then I'm like, wait a second. So then we started figuring out all these things. We started looking at essential oils. We started getting introduced to all these things. We started reducing our chemical intake. Now skin sensitivities are going away. I don't have black marks all over the top of my head. What the heck? I have more energy. My eyes are actually whiter. What's going on? And it's like, it made perfect. It was like a big click. It was like, we reduced all the chemicals in our house. We're actually saving money because those cleaners are expensive. So now we're using vinegar, water, baking soda, and a couple drops of essential oils to make it smell nice. And they're natural cleaners. And we're saving a boatload of money. It's better for us. It's a better cleaning product by 10 times. And it's like, holy crap. We need to tell more people about this stuff because one is they can save money and it's better for them. And it's great for the environment. So why shouldn't we do it? And it's not to be one of those people that's like, oh, you got to go green. You got to go green. It's good for you. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to do that. And whoever is listening to do the exact same thing. Look what's inside your cabinets and what you're cleaning. Put them on a counter. Put them all on one counter and take a look at it. It's a mind shift. It's like, holy crap, right? So you got to do it, man.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday about permissible levels and why should, I mean, if it's a known carcinogen, or if we, and a lot of these things that are known carcinogens, we don't find out that they're known carcinogens until about 30 years after they've made, the company that's put it out's made their millions, and they've got bean counters that know that, okay, this is going to maybe hurt some people, but we've already got it in the budget that we're going to maybe have to pay out. All right. So if we made 100 million profit on this product, we know that we're probably going to have to pay maybe 20 million out in damages, but
we're okay with that.
Yeah. But we've still made 80 million. So, I mean,
Exactly.
it's a win for them, you know? And so I've had to work with products like that in the industry that I'm in. There's this really nasty one, man. It's called, Pyrogel. And it goes over, you know, I'm a mechanical insulator. So at the refineries, you know how you see the metal jacketing and all that stuff. All right. So we put that on. And so this product is usually it takes about maybe if a pipe's running 1500 degrees, it takes about a 2 to 3 inch, block of a calcium silicate around it for personnel protection, for energy conservation, all that. So it's not losing a lot of heat. It's staying within there. Well, they came up with a product that is 3/8 of an inch thick, and you would put 3 layers of that on there. So now you're only about like this thick, and it's not as heavy. It's more durable, but the powder that comes off of this stuff, right? Like when you throw water on it, it just beads and flies right off the end of it. It does, like water doesn't even stick to it. And so when we were using it, and you have to wear a mask, right?
For sure.
Some people don't though. And sometimes you'll breathe that stuff in. So if it's doing that, I mean, what is that doing to our insides? I mean, if it's repelling water that way, we are water. You know what I mean? We're made of like however many more percentage of water than we are anything else. And so when I'd get it in my hair, it would literally take me 3 times of having to try and lather it up to get it all out, because the water, like I was like a duck. The water is just going right off of my hair.
Yeah.
And
and that's a problem. Like, and that's just that one little thing. And that's just your industry. Think about all the things around us like that. Like they used to use asbestos wraps for those pipes too, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like all the elbows and stuff like that. So I have a friend that has a company, JMX Environmental, and they do a lot of asbestos removal for a lot of those pipe wraps because they're all asbestos. And now they're using PVC and all this other stuff around it and stuff like that. I don't know what they're replacing them with, but it's a big business to remove all those chemicals, asbestos, and all that sort of stuff on those pipes because new regulations are coming in. So the new regulations that are going to come, say, from 10 years now, the stuff that you've been putting on, you've been breathing in, it's probably going to have to be removed, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's 30 years is the incubation period before people start realizing, you know, that it causes cancer. You know what I mean? Because that's about, I mean, don't you think that's about a right estimate?
Yeah, it's about that, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's by design. You know,
I couldn't agree more.
Okay, so because they already know they're going to make a bunch of money, and they obviously don't care about killing people. I mean, if you look at and this was a huge one for me, look at the middle aisle of the grocery store. Yeah. All of that shit that's in there causes cancer.
Absolutely.
You know, and
Lysol, all that sort of stuff. It's all in there. And what people, because some of it, like, there's one that I have a friend of a friend that loves the smell of Pine Sol. That cleaning solutions for your floors and stuff like that.
I like that smell too.
Right? But because it smells pretty.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we got to use that. It's like, no, that's the whole point of what they're trying to do. They make it smell pretty so you use it. But it's like 99.9999% chemicals. And you have kids, they're crawling around the floor on their bare hands and their feet, licking their hands. It's like, oh, don't do it. And I did it when I was a kid. I'm okay. But I've detoxed my body so many times now from the past 6-7 years. I'm still getting all this stuff out because of what I did to my body over the last 45 years, right? So we gotta find a way to get the word out that there's other ways, there's other solutions. That's my goal, is to help others understand that there is another solution. It's cheaper for them to do it. It's better for them. We got to get this stuff off the shelves. We got to get plastic out of the world, and this is the way to do it. You got to do it, man. I'll help you. I'm going to do it.
Awesome.
We're going to have a call after this, and we're going to get you started, man. I got to get you off all those chemicals. I'll get you that book, that Dr. Amy Myers. I think you should get that book. It's on Amazon. It's super cheap. I think it's like $13. It's the best $13 or $14 you'll ever spend.
Yeah.
And it's a diet that is sustainable. And it's actually good. You can eat steak, you can eat chicken, you can eat your veggies, You can do these things, but the big thing is the first week is going to suck because there's no sugar, right?
I don't have a problem when I stop things, especially if I'm motivated, I go all in on stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like when I first started this podcast, it was like, man, I had all of the equipment that I needed. I was like, I got to have that. I'm going to that. I'm going to that, this, and that, and went 100% gung ho into it. And that's just kind of how I do things until I burn myself out on it. And then I'm just like, all right, but
but it's your life. That won't happen, right? Because it's your life. Because as soon as you start feeling better, you're going to go, shit, I feel better. I'm going to keep on going. Because that's the difference, right?
Yeah. It is. Well, I mean, there's going to be a lot of differences once everything opens back up.
Oh,
I mean, we're
many changes are coming, my friend. It's going to be a new normal. It's not normal the way that it was. It's going to be a whole new world of the way that we're going to be doing things, and a lot of things are being unfolded, unlifted in proper layers, and things are going to be changing. In one, self-directed healthcare, you watch, will be the biggest, fastest. It already is, but it's going to be 20-fold of what it is today. You watch what's going to happen. So get in on it now, why there's still resources to do it, because once the economy awakens, people are going to be going crazy for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just healthcare. And I mean, all of these, not to like try to drive this anywhere else, but I mean, all of these industries, they're all tied in with the government and the politicians.
Absolutely.
And so I think that a huge part of the problem is that the baby boomers and their parents, that's when media really started. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and that's when the radio and then the television, there was always a newspaper, but once that the radio and the television got in there, I mean, everybody, you're driven by what you hear, and not so much by what you see. I think it's more so what you hear, because it's something's getting, if you're passive listening, you're kind of, you'll catch some things, but you won't. But I mean, if you're really engaged in something and listening to it, and that's all you're listening to, it gets into your head a lot easier than when you're watching something, because when you're watching something, there's a distraction there. You know what I mean? You're watching what's happening on the screen. Yes, you're hearing it, but you're not really hearing it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It plays mind games on you, because in your subconscious too, even when you're sleeping, when you heard all those things throughout that day, even to say you had the news on TV, but you weren't watching it, and you're in another room because you're listening it, right? Mm-hmm. It's playing games in your subconscious. And when you go to sleep, it's replaying all this sort of stuff. And then it's changing your mindset of what you should be doing, could be doing, and would be doing, because of what you're constantly hearing in media, the radio, and all that sort of stuff. So it's pre-programming your mind to think a certain way, and that's what's happening.
Yeah,
right? And I agree. I couldn't agree with you more, man. It's crazy.
And those two generations, that's how they were conditioned. Okay.
Yep.
And so with my generation, I'm Gen X, and my sister's is 10 and 12 years, older than me. They're kind of hip to it as well. Right. But I think, like, in my generation, for sure, like, oh, I know it's all bullshit. It's just, it's all a con game.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's no different than 3-card Monty. It's
exactly, man. It's horrible.
And so
more people are waking up to it, right? So it's good.
Yeah.
People are starting to understand, and there's more combated news and audio of the other side of what's actually happening. And that tower is being picked at, man. That tower is going to be falling over very soon. It's coming.
Well, you can see it. You can see it unfolding right in front of us. I mean, it's almost, the crazy thing is like, if you like try to put it into a perspective that you can understand, it's almost like we're watching this whole thing just sort of implode on itself. You know what I mean? It's like, the technology and society, one is going extremely faster than the other one, and it's causing a meltdown.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because it's like everybody knows what's happening before they can get away with shit, because the news cycle was only like what, a week. You know what I mean? They had a week to clean up their shit before the news caught up with them.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like, it's almost instantaneous. So when something happens, it's like, so there's nowhere to hide anymore. And that's why they're just super blatant about it, because they know they can't hide. So they're just going to do it and hope that, you know, oh, well, whatever. There's nothing I can do about it anyways. Cause we all know.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like we're in a movie set. Don't you feel that? Like we feel like we're in this big world globe movie, and all this stuff is happening around the globe, and we're all actors, and it's just so weird. It's so surreal that this is actually happening, and we're trying to change the outcome of the movie, and we're just trying to rally the troops, if you will, to try to get this big change happening. And it's just like, when is the big change going to hit? And it's so weird. I was talking to somebody yesterday about it, and that's how they're describing it. It's like a movie set. It's so weird. It's so surreal.
Yeah, what I don't understand is, why is it so difficult to get everybody on board when I would say that I would give it a good estimate. Let's just say 60% of the population around the world. Okay. In let's just use first world countries. And I know that the other government, I'm just saying, like in Western countries, we all know what's happening. Why is it so hard for people to just kind of wake up and say, hey, you know, we have the power to turn this over.
Absolutely.
You know, I think right now, I mean, if you listen to one of my podcasts, you know, in some countries, that podcast that I put out would probably get me shot or put in prison.
Right.
And it was dude, this is the perfect time. Usually so like, I'm going to use strike for an example, right? Cause I'm in the union, and I'm one of the labor leaders there. And so one of the hardest things to get people to get on board with a strike is loss of wages. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a huge one. All right. How am I going to feed my family if I agree with your cause, but how am I going to feed my family by standing in a picket line with you?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and so basic survival needs stand in the way of that. And that's understandable. I mean, I get it, but right now we're all getting paid by the government. Most of, you know, who aren't working.
Yeah.
That is not an issue right now. So right now would be the perfect time for people to stand up, have a general strike, have you know what I mean? A general world strike, and say, hey, man, enough is enough.
For sure.
Look, it's time for you criminals to, I mean, and most governments are criminal.
Yep.
And I don't,
for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what happens once they get there. That's the weirdest thing. Like when you left, I know you had good intentions. I know you did.
Yeah. It's the bureaucracy and the corporates turning them, putting money into their back pockets to fill their own needs, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's got to stop. Most people have good intentions when they get into office. As soon as they get there, then all the birds start chirping, right? And they have no choice but to kind of follow that chirping. And that's where we've been for decades upon decades upon decades. It's not about the people; it's about filling their own pockets, and that's unfortunate.
And so here goes another one. All right. So in our country, I know you're in Canada, right?
I am, yes.
So in our country, when they did that, the bailout package, right? And they went to the vote for it. It was 96-0 to approve this thing. We all know that it was a corporate bailout. You know what I mean? We all know what that's maybe we all don't, but I definitely know what that was about. That was about, you know, socialism for the elites.
Absolutely.
We're not, socialism, that's the boogeyman. You know what I mean? Yep. Just like communism was the boogeyman. You know, they don't want you to be able to have socialism here, because then that means it's going to cut into their socialism that they need for their, for the corporations that they all have stock in.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And this was blatantly obvious, I think, you know,
absolutely.
and none of the progressives, okay. So Elizabeth Warren, her whole reason for her campaign this year was because of the 2008, bailout and how corrupt that was and how it was just meant to be able to kick millions, it was like 5 million people out of their families, out of their homes. And it was just a consolidation of wealth for the elites.
The elite. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
yeah, it's crazy.
She should have been the first one standing up and jumping up and down when they're going for the vote and they're all sitting there. Nobody did. As a matter of fact, Nancy Pelosi said that let's do a phone-in vote, a voice vote on something that is costing the taxpayers trillions of dollars. You want to have a voice vote? So nobody has a record of who voted what?
No, exactly. Yeah, no, for sure. It's all, and that's every industry, and it's every political party. Doesn't matter if you're liberal, Democrat, does not matter. It's all a bunch of crap, and it even goes into bring it back to health. The same crap, man. Like the FDA and all that sort of stuff. Like most medicines, this is, you probably know this already, but most medication that we have, their base of that medication is essential oils. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So then they take it. That's a pure, potent, beautiful thing that will help you with this stuff that you're dealing with. Then they start adding stuff to it. They add all their awesome stuff to it so they can actually patent it. So then the government gets their big piece on it. And then it becomes the billion-dollar corporations that they are. Most medications start from essential oils. They start from Mother Nature. And then they add all their crap into it because they can get their piece, right? And that's, it drives me bonkers. It's like, and that's what people don't understand, that they always have to get their piece, get their finger in the pie, because that's what they do. And they think it's to help humanity. It's like, you're killing it. And you're doing the exact opposite. Push this stuff as a front defense, be part of it, but don't change it because it's working. And as soon as that happens, we're all going to be we're going to be better for society. We're going to be better. Earth is going to be better for it. Mother Nature is going to be better for it. Everything will be better. But no, they got to keep on doing it because they're digging in the background to push their own agenda. And that's the dilemma, right? So it's in every industry, man. It's insane. So that's why we got to take it back and do it on our own. You know what I mean? Self-directed healthcare is important. You need to find a way to stand up with your people that are around you and push for what you believe in. And that's what people got to do.
Well, I believe in you know what I mean? Plant medicine. But you know, the other plant, you know,
cannabis. You can say it. It's all good.
Cannabis is definitely. I use it as a edibles. I don't smoke just because there's lung issues in my family. So, and I did smoke a lot of different drugs for a lot of years. So it's like I was able finally to stop smoking cigarettes and kick the smoking the weed out the door and all that. But yep. I do take edibles, and I take it for pain, and I also, take it for, I mean, to me, it seems like an SSRI would, like, you know, for Prozac, you know, it changes your mood back to one where, you know, you're pleasant, you know, and I think that's what Zoloft and those drugs do too. They just kind of level you out in a certain way. And,
but they have tons of side effects.
Yeah. And
you're literally killing your insides. You're treating a symptom versus treating the ailment with everything that's happening right now. Like even with marijuana and all that sort of stuff that's out there, a lot of it is masking the overall issue, right? So yeah, you can do that, but you need to find the root cause of what you're dealing with. Like right now, I want to use you an example because we're talking, and is, so say you're taking your edibles for pain. So it could be shoulder pain, back pain, stuff like that. We need to figure out what that is and actually treat that, because if you keep on going down the road that you're going, in time, your liver function, your gut health, all these things are going to be compromised. So right now it's okay because you're still young. 20 years from now, and you keep on doing that, it's going to be a different ballgame. There's going to be a whole new different types of elements that you're going to be dealing with, because your edibles most likely have sugar in them. Two is they have that stuff in them, but you don't know if it's 100% true, because it's probably laced with something.
No, I make it myself.
So all those items, when you make it yourself, that's good.
Yeah,
so at least you know what's in it. So most people don't. They just buy them. But even then, if we can find a way to, you probably like the feeling of it, but if I can get you with no pain, the frequency healing stuff. Nope, are you there?
Yeah. No, you just you broke up for a little bit, but you're back. I missed some of the stuff that you said, but we'll keep rolling. You had that here. What is it? It was frequency healing and EMF. What I imagine is electromagnetic frequency protection.
Yeah, dude, that could be a big part of some of your issues too, because of which you do. You're working with a lot of these mechanicals. With the mechanical areas that you're in, there's tons of EMFs, right? So EMFs are a big problem that people don't even think about. Like right now, I'm just looking at your picture. Behind you, I can count hot lights. You have electrical around you. You're sitting in front of a big monitor. You have headphones on. Good thing it's plugged in, so good job there. But all these things, which we know of, like I have my phone here, but these here all have EMF radiation, which I knew nothing about a few years ago. Now I'm starting to find out a lot more. If you go to your phone and you look in settings, this is going to blow your mind. Right on your phone, they tell you that your phone is not designed to do this. Your phone is designed to do this. This is how you're supposed to talk to people on your phone. This is from the actual manufacturers of the phones. Why? Because the radiation and EMFs from the phone was tested at a 10 to 15 millimeter distance away from your head. If you have them against you, you're now getting full pop of the radiation. Within a 3-minute call, the radiation is getting to the middle of your eye. And if you're a kid, if you're under 16 years of age, it's that the radiation on a 3-minute call is going to the opposite side of your head. So the amount of radiation that they're getting into their brain on a day-to-day basis is insane. That's from your phone.
That's scary.
Dude, it's unbelievable. So we found this. We did a live blood test analysis through this. And the company that I'm now part of is called EssentialVibes. So if you go to the homepage, scroll down about 3/4 of the way down, there's a live blood test analysis.
What's it called?
There. EssentialVibes.ca. So while you're pulling that up, I'll explain what it is. So there's different, I'm going to pull up a handful. So there's different products. I just have these here. So there's crystals, metals, stuff that can actually hold a frequency. So we embed frequency into bracelets. Okay. The whole reason this came up is because of EMF protection. And we wanted to see what it did to our blood cells. So we did a live blood test analysis, which I'm not sure if you know what that is. So you prick your finger like you normally would. They put it on a microscope, and attached to this microscope is a 4D HD camera that goes to a big monitor. So you can actually see your blood live up on the screen. You can actually see your blood all clumped together. You can see parasites, bacteria. You can see digestive proteins, all this sort of stuff right within your blood. You can even see EMFs, damaged cells from EMFs. So it looks like almost like a hexagon, if you will. It's right in your blood. You can see it. So we did that. It's like, okay. So then we put 2 bracelets on people, waited 8 days. We came back, did the exact same thing to those people, 15 different people. The results were phenomenal. Their blood was separated. It was flowing. Parasites were disappearing. Their immune system, which you can actually see, it looks like a little glowing and has little spikes around it. They're actually healthy. You'll see the EMF cells are actually now being regenerated and actually now turning into a circle. So it actually gives you EMF protection at the cell level. And that there is huge because of what we're dealing with. a lot of people are talking about COVID is 5G, 5G is creating COVID. And I'm saying, who cares? 5G is bad. COVID's bad. It's a virus. It's a fluke. Fine. It's still bad. It's still attacking your immune system. So how do we fix that? Right? So these bracelets have what we call the Schumann resonance. The Schumann resonance, you know, where our bodies are made of vibrations. We're a frequency being, right? So when you go to the hospital and you have a heart attack, what do? Rub the paddles, clear, and they shock you, right? They're putting electricity back into your body because we're electrical beings, right? Everything vibrates around us. Different organs have different frequencies, all this sort of fun stuff. So what these bracelets do, it brings you back to base. It brings you back to the Earth's frequency, right? When lightning hits the Earth, it's electricity. That there was coined by Nikola Tesla way back in the day as the Schumann resonance at 7.83 hertz. And that is what's in these bracelets. So once you put it on, like right now I have a bunch of them on, your body, your protons are going all over the place because EMFs are screwing up your cells in your body, right? So if you're in an area of pretty much anywhere right now, but if you're way up in the mountains and stuff like that, away the EMFs, you won't have those feelings. You won't feel tired, exhausted, chronic pains, ailments in your joints, and feeling all this sort of stuff because the EMFs play a big part of that, and people don't know that. And now with 5G coming, oh my grace, man. It's a millimeter wave. It's a low frequency wave that they have to install many more towers to get that frequency going. And it's happening everywhere. They're installing these towers while everyone's in lockdown. You can actually find them online. You can see all these towers popping up. They're lampposts now. They're going by schools. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing it on lockdown? Right? Because they know if they install them with everyone walking around, there are going to be problems. Right? So these products are being tested to help support all the different EMFs. Say 5G doesn't get installed. Okay, fine. You still have 4G, 3G, 2G, Wi-Fi, electrical all over the place. You have Wi-Fi in your office, in your house. It's everywhere. So you got to protect your cells at the cell level. You got to protect you, right? And that's what this stuff does. So that video on the homepage shows with a phone videotaping the live blood test analysis that we did before we put the product on. And it was 4.5 hours, and they actually had 3 powerful bracelets on. And we redid the live blood test analysis again. And you can see that the blood was just flowing like a raging river. So every person's outcome, if you will, is a slightly different. You'll see different variances of their blood levels. And that's what we saw in those 15 test people when we hired a live blood technician to my office. So I wanted to see what was happening. And the common effect, every single person had their blood starting to separate and started flowing more. That was in everyone that got tested. Everyone had a positive, that they had more energy. Some people had a better sleep. They're sleeping deeper. Person had bad back pain and knee pain. That there was no longer within 1 week. Another friend of a friend that tried it out, he has bad anxiety attacks. He had a reduction of 80% of anxiety attacks within 1 week of having the bracelets on. That was his experiences. So these are video testimonials on the page as well. You can see these testimonials. And it's just phenomenal of what's happening once you get the EMFs and you line yourselves up back with Mother Nature. So you'll find that this sort of stuff will help you as well. So it's a great product. It's we've spent so much money testing it our own way with live blood cell testiness, EMF, radiation meters and stuff like that we can actually check to see if it's actually working. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So to bring things back to scope is diet change, nutrition, enzymes, and essential oils, and now EMF protection. You have those 3 in your life, big changes, man. It's really, really good.
You got me curious. Although you have to admit, okay, what you're saying to the average person
is like,
is woo-woo. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So I can show you a strength test with the product on and with it off. That's one. And then if you actually look at the live blood test analysis, the blood doesn't lie, dude. Like, what is in your blood is what's in your blood. Nothing I can do about that. If you prick your finger and you watch the person put it onto the scope, you see your blood on screen. You put 2 bracelets on, you come back a week later, you see them prick your finger, they put it up there, and you see it on the screen, it's your blood. I don't care what kind of woo-woo you got, it's working. I don't care what anybody says. That's just the reality of you can't lie what's in your blood. And that's the best part about it, is I'm a skeptical person. And that's why I hired my own live blood technician to come to my office, test myself, my wife, my parents. I had a whole bunch of other people because I know that I would trust their opinion to say, this is bullshit. These are the people that I know. They've been in my circle for a long, long time. And I paid for this technician to come in. I paid it out of my own pocket, which was thousands and thousands of dollars. And shit works, man. And with my wife's health, and this is where this is coming from, is with her to have these bracelets on is now giving her more energy, where before she was taking naps and stuff like that, and where now she's not. What's that? Woo-woo? What is that, right? Something has to be working, right? Something has to be doing something, right? Yeah. It's not just my take, it's other people doing things for them that it's helping. These are people outside of my circle. We now have resellers, Australia, we have one in France, we have one in Montreal, we have a couple in the States. These people are now using the product, selling the product, because it's helped them and their families. They're like, I need to get more of this. So now it actually turned into something where before we started to help my wife and to help myself because I was dealing with some small issues. Now it's turning into something where it's natural. I don't have to be popping medications to try to deal with my back pain and my knee pain that I've been playing because of basketball for all these years, right? So EMF protection is a big item, man. We got to make sure that we get that word out, because the government is going to be pushing 5G down your mouth, if you like it or not. You need to protect yourself. If it's this product or someone else's, I don't care. Get EMF protection, because you'll find that it'll help you.
Yeah, we'll have to get with you on that. So, I mean, I've always kind of known that, that's what they call us, sentient, beings. And, that we do, when your vibration is higher, you tend to attract more things to you, or, you know what I mean? Yep. But I also do agree with you that with everything that is in the air and going around, that kind of keeps our vibration down. And I don't think that's on accident. You know what I mean? It is not on accident. It's, I feel like, and cause it's weird when you get it, like what you're saying, when you get outside of a big city, and I've experienced this, cause I go up to the mountains, about once a year, and like high up in the mountains, like you have to use a 4-wheel drive to even get in there. So there's not a lot of people back there. And great. I mean, the air is clear. Although I did sleep a lot while I was there, just because it's so relaxing.
But why do you think that is? Like, I'm not pushing this information to you. You're telling it to me. Why do you think that is? What are you out of?
Well, you're out of pollution. You're out of,
EMFs.
whatever's happening in the, there's no electrical lines up there. There's no cell service at all.
But that's the whole point, though. If you do not have cell service, that EMF mesh, picture that. You have cell towers everywhere. They're everywhere. That mesh is over top of everything that you do. If you can actually see that, you'd be clawing through it because it's everywhere. Once you get out of that, your body within a day is now resetting itself to being back to the Earth's frequency. So when you get up to those mountains, you're going to sleep like the best you've ever slept, because your body's now finally in relaxed mode. You'll be able to breathe. You'll have more energy. You'll be more focused. You'll be clear. It's all from EMFs. And that's what we're finding. And by, like I said, I'm wearing the bracelets. I find now that I can stay up so much longer. I'm clearer and more focused. I feel the difference. If I take this off for 2 days, I feel like, just feel like a lethargic. It's like, it is brutal. And it's just enhancing what I've been doing with my nutrition, with the essential oils, and a little bit of my diet change. So it's given it a huge enhancement. So I encourage it. Like I said, if you can get something that has the Schumann resonance and you can put it on you, and it's been tested that it is truly the Schumann resonance and it's not this fakey folky stuff that's coming from China, dude, Get it. Get it. You need to have it on you. You need to have it on you.
And so you run this website and you sell these products?
I do now, yes, absolutely. Because of what it's done to my family. And I invested money into it before we did it because I wanted to know that it was true and it was part of it. And it's here to help people. And it's been tested by a family that's in holistic medicine. It's not a corporation. We'll never go public. We'll never sell it because of what it is. And that there is important for people to know and understand. Same with the essential oils. You guys have questions about it? We can help you get more educated. It's about education. Once you have the education, you're more inclined to go, something's making sense here. Let me give it a try. And then you start reaping the benefits. It's like, holy crap, this is awesome. I need to do more of this. And it just happens naturally. If I give you something that's going to work and you're like, I don't know about this, but you know what? I'll give it a whirl. A month later, it starts to work. What's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to tell your friend, your mom, your dad, your uncle, this, that, whatever, saying, you guys need to try this because this is what it's done for me. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're spreading what we've learned, what we've tried, what is working for us, and it needs to be told to more people. And that's why I'm doing these podcasts, is we need to tell people there's natural ways to feel better versus popping pills and all the stuff that we don't know. We need to get people off that stuff because it's killing the world.
Well, and there's also there's no benefit for a pharmaceutical company to cure you.
Nope.
They need you. Yeah, they need you sick. They need you sick because that's a net positive for their investors.
Absolutely. And that's why they don't like a lot of the stuff that's going on with this sort of stuff because of it's natural. You only need a couple of bracelets to last your lifetime. The bracelets, the frequency within them will outlast your life. Beautiful. Sign me up. So I spend a couple $100 to say I spend $400. I get 3 bracelets, 2 bracelets, whatever it is. I have that for the rest of my life. I don't need to be popping pills to feel better because I have 3 bracelets on. Hook me up, right? All the other stuff that you need to be doing is getting rid of the chemicals in your house, which is all the essential oils and stuff like that I can help you guys with. And now you're self-sufficient. Self-directed healthcare has now been implemented and you don't even realize it. And you're paying probably less than what you're paying now in your household for all the cleaning solutions, all the crap that you're taking. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you've got me interested. I mean, you definitely piqued my let me see, piqued my curiosity. Let's say that.
That there's the start of it. Now do your research and find out what's good for you. I ask questions. Asking questions is a good thing. And when you're asking questions, because other people ask these questions and we can help them too. You know what I mean? It's that's where it all begins. And we need to do more of it. The more we help the greater good, which is humanity, because the government and all the big corps, they're not doing it for us. So we got to find a way to do it with them, for them, together. And it's important. Listen, Western medicine, dude, they're changing. There's a huge hospital that's being built right now in Kentucky, and it's the biggest cancer, I think it's the biggest cancer ward hospital, I think, in the United States, I think. We'll have to double check that up. The whole bottom floor is holistic medicine now. They spent $145 million on this hospital. The whole bottom floor, holistic medicine, essential oils. Why do you think they're doing this? Western medicine is now integrated medicine. It's not just Western medicine anymore. So they're really they're trying to make a shift that integrated medicine works. Preventative is important. So only certain people actually get it. So there is starting to be a shift. And listen, hospitals, they have a beautiful place. We need them. We do. You get shot, you get stabbed, you get in a car accident, heart attack, whatever it may be. You need hospitals. We need them. We want to partner with them to help prevent a lot of the stuff that people are going in there for. You know what I mean? Like the common flu, the common cold, skin irritations, all this sort of stuff. Preventative medicine can help 80% of that stuff. If we can reduce 80% of the people going into hospitals, what do you think is going to happen to our tax dollars? Are they going to go up or go down?
Yeah.
That's huge. It's huge for humanity. We need to do it, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm looking at some of your products here. Some of the bracelets that you have for females, for men, for men and women both. Would you be willing to, if any of my customers, my listeners wanted to purchase some of these, do you have a discount code or something like that for
sure.
anybody that comes from my podcast?
Sure.
You can
I can create a coupon code for you.
So if you're out there, you're listening, it'll be in the show notes. I'll put that information down there,
and I'll get you 20% off anything in the shop. How's that sound?
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. And hopefully my listeners will appreciate it too. Yeah. Shoot over to EssentialVibes.ca.
That's right. You can go to scottmanduck.com, and then from there you can actually click off of that if you'd like. It'll bring you right to the Essential Vibes page as well. It's just easier. They'll know my name, so they'll get information on the essential oil stuff as well as Essential Vibes. Right at the top, you'll see it. Add anything to your cart and use as your coupon code, and that'll get you 20% off anything and everything in the cart. We're still shipping on a daily basis, so don't worry about shipping. We will get it to you. And away we go. And the essential oil, just shoot me off an email, and I can help you guys do that as well.
Awesome, man. I appreciate all the time, in the conversation. It's interesting, man. Like I said, you've got me curious, so I'll definitely be taking a look into it.
First step, buddy. Curiosity changes lives. That's what my goal was today, is to pique curiosity and self-directed health care to help more people get off of medications, to get back to work. Don't sit at home. It's not helping anybody. Whatever I can do to help you guys, that's what I'm here for. So let me know.
Awesome, Scott, man. Well, I appreciate it, and hang out for just a second, after I sign off here.
Right. No worries. So just go to scottmanduck.com. It's a way to reach me. Let me know if you guys need anything.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you're doing and trying to, help us be healthier. So cool. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, pal. Thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to the show, and thanks, Scott. You really do have my interest and curiosity piqued for these things. It's not the first time I've heard of them, but it's definitely something that I need to do a little bit more research and check into. And I know you've been reaching out to me to, kind of giving me the nudge here, and don't think it's gone unnoticed. I just been kind of going through my own stuff here and bouncing back. So let's connect. We will. Also, all of Scott's places and the coupon code for the products at his website will be available in the show notes, as well as my information. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast platform. I could really use the help here. I'm trying to grow this thing, and every little bit helps. Also, there's going to be a Facebook group, the podcast Facebook group challenge for rate and reviews on iTunes. And if you are interested in that, go ahead and hit my information and go to the Linktree link, go all the way to the bottom, hit the tab for the Facebook group and join. And then I should be in the next week or so posting a instructional video on how to get into the challenge and what the objective and the rules and what you need to do for this challenge. And and that will be for to win show merchandise. So anyways, that will be available here coming in the next week to week and a half. And as always, also don't forget to do your mental health check. Make sure you're okay. And if you're not, talk to somebody. And until next time, keep it 100, stay true to yourself. Everything else is just noise.